Good morning, welcome to today's RC Coffee Chat. Now, we've got 1, 2, 3 topics for today's RC Coffee Chat. The glaring, the horse and the monkey in the room. Horse, monkey, whatever, you know I leave these edits in there. C1 Chaser, we did the Maiden on the weekend. Spot on, we will get to that in a moment. There is a new tiny little micro receiver for FrSky. And also a very early heads up on the HobbyKing deals, which they did a mistake on their site earlier and I found out what they were. Happy days. By the way, that does mean if you're interested in some NTM motors, you will be able to get them cheaper because they're up there from $5 or less. So, let's do that one first. And don't worry about hitting pause on this episode and going and have a look for yourself. I put links to these categories in the video description for you. So, I tell you what, let's do that first. Apparently, again, there's no product showing just yet for the Turnigy 50C tools, so it looks like we got some hex wrenches and stuff like that. Also, their main page, it's 0736 right now. It's not updated, but it did update for about 2 minutes this morning, so that's why I spotted that we had the 50C Turnigy tools. And if you go in and look up wherever it is, motors. Sorry, I thought I had this prepared. Obviously not. If you go into motors, NTM series, and then into... I've gone into 28 because that's the size which would interest me. But if you take a quick look in here, $5, $8, $5, $5, $5, $5, $7.65, $5, $2, $45. They are definitely on sale today, and I'll put a link to this category in the video description for you. I did have a look myself, but I was more interested in the slightly higher KV ones, and yeah, they're not for me, but they might be for you. So you don't need to apologise if you want to hit pause on this video. Go down into the video description, press the show more link, and there's the links to this category page. And also the 50C Turnigy tools as well for you, so you can have a nose. I did have a nose this morning when I was on the iPad, and none of them seemed suitable for me. Although for $5, which is, let's say, about £4, not bad. Not bad. Okay, so moving on to the other topic for today. Expect, like I said a while ago, expect a slew of FrSky receivers to come out now. This is just another incarnation. This one looks absolutely tiny. Look at the components on there. We're talking 2 centimeters or less on the size of that board. It's tiny. Oh, look, there you go. Dimensions 11 by 23 millimeters. Absolutely tiny. Obviously, range would probably be an issue with a module that size, but it would be fine for a micro quad if you're going to be chucking it around the house. So yeah, happy days, and a bargain. It's £7.13. I'll put a link to that one in the video description. Now, let's get on to the C1 Chaser. Wow, is my short answer for this. It was absolutely brilliant. Now, I've got 3 episodes for you on her. Now, the first one is the Maiden. Now, I included this pre-safety check or these special notes about a Maiden, and those are serious notes. Is that when it comes to a Maiden, I'm not flying a model right in front of my face just to get some video footage. That's just nuts. So, yeah, get it up, get some height on, get a feel for the model, and I'm not going to say any more because you'll see it in that episode when it gets published. Now, if you'd like to see the Maiden of that one before it goes out later today, there's the link to the Facebook group is in the video description. It's already published in there, and the same as the C1 Chaser on FrSky. So that's some onboard footage with FrSky. And there's another episode which I finished editing last night, which is the C1 Chaser on 4S. Now, do keep in the back of your mind that when I'm flying on 4S, I'm only running an 8x4 5-prop rather than an 8x6, so there's still some thrust to be got out of that model. And you can tell when I'm on full throttle because it like shakes through the sky with the amount of thrust coming out the back. Absolutely brilliant. Oh, and I'm super chuffed. I did pre-balance that propeller as well, and there was little to no jello in the video footage. which means that I did get that propeller really well balanced. So I'm super chuffed about that. So in the sky, she was absolutely brilliant. I've got her sat next to me from the recordings last night. It was absolutely brilliant. She did do the telltale duck when we launched her, and in the 3S flight, or it might have been the 4S one, she really does just skim the grass on the way through. I also found that I really did not feel comfortable launching this model with my hand underneath, and the reason for that is that propeller is down quite far, so instead I elected for a side launch like here, and then launched her like that. Now that does mean is that if we do load her up with a lot of battery in there, is that I do feel that I'm going to put some extra spars across up underneath the wing, just to give her a little bit of rigidity underneath there. And I know it would be better if we launched her with our left hand, but I'm right-handed, so I'm going with right-handed launches. It just seems natural for me, and it was absolutely brilliant in the air. The glide on this was bonkers. I mean, it just glided forever. That's the only way to do it. Even with the wind behind her, she was gliding brilliantly. So, yeah. Where am I going from here? Oh, actually, one other thing to note is that I did find that I did need quite a lot of elevon movement to do quite more adventurous maneuvers with her. So I did start off on low rates, and I quickly worked out I needed more movement, flipped to medium rates, and then that was semi-okay, and then I flipped up to full rates, and yeah, it started to start being able to do some aerobatics with it. Yeah, next stages from here really is to start considering about getting some FPV kit on her now. Video transmitter out on a wing, receiver on the opposite wing, GPS and a camera up on the top of the nose, and yeah, that's the next stage for her. Yeah, I'm genuinely impressed. If you were waiting off to see the Maiden to get one of these, I like them a lot. And I tell you what, let me go and get a photo. I'm pretty sure it uploaded yesterday. Let me just put this down on there. Let me see if I can find a photo for you, because I just wanted to show you the difference in sizes between the models. Just waiting for it to... Yeah, there we go. Let me put that on your screen. So what we've got there is the... Let me zoom out a touch. What we got there is the Z81 on top. Fantastic, sorry, Z84, fantastic model. Underneath, we've then got the C1 Chaser, and then underneath that, we've got the Phantom FX61. So, yeah, I've got like the whole family. Well, I've almost got the whole family, because there is one extra one to go underneath there, which is the FX79, which is the Buffalo, which is monstrously huge at about 2 meters. But I personally don't think I'm going to be getting that one. I'm really happy now with this combo. The FX61 has been a brilliant model to fly. Such a floaty little model. Does have issues penetrating quite a strong headwind. Just seems to catch more. I'm doing a comparison to a Talon, for example. This one, I'm not too sure into a headwind. Don't know yet. Find out shortly. And then the Wing Z84 is just an amazing model. It really is amazing. And that's why I was excited about the C1 Chaser, is because it is this happy medium between the epically big FX61 and the Z84. Look, it is just like that happy medium between the two. And you could fit that in the back of the car and not have to put the seats down. So, yeah, it's a really, really good size. And I ran it on a 2.2 4S battery. I caned it for about 6-7 minutes, and it's still got 73% in it. Bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. So, yeah, super impressed with the C1 Chaser. If I'm frankly honest, I'm thinking of buying myself a second one. And the reason why, you may think, Matt, well, you already got one. The reason being is that just like the Hornet, which I got a spare here somewhere, which came the other day, is that I really liked this model. I genuinely really do like the C1 Chaser. And if I stuffed it in and made an absolute mess of it, I wouldn't mind having a spare kicking around. So I might get myself a spare one. So we'll see on that one during this week. So anyway, quick coffee chat this morning. Quick recap. HobbyKing deals before they've even been published on the HobbyKing site. And there are some fantastic deals on those motors, down to $5, which is like £4 in the United Kingdom. There is another page there for some 50C Turnigy tools, a little micro receiver, and like I said, if you want early access to see the Maiden of the C1 Chaser, it is already live in the Facebook group, and the same as the FrSky footage, where you're actually on board with her as well. There was an interesting comment from Master, actually, who asked in I can't remember which episode it was. He said, Matt, did you have a stabilizer on it? No, she's naked. There is no stabilizer in that model. That's just the way it flies. It just locks in and flies straight. And I think it's helped by because you've got the CGs quite so far forward, so you end up with a bigger battery pack in there. It's got the weight in the nose to penetrate through the sky. So yeah, it wasn't a perfect. Sorry, let me explain that. The wind was picking up on that day, so it got through the air fine. And I know there's more thrust to be got out of her with an 8x6 prop. I've been and bought some this morning. So with that said, I'm super happy about my C1 Chaser. I really am impressed. I need to start thinking about component layout now, and then get some FPV kit on her. Happy days, happy days. So I'm going to wrap up now. Bit of a shorter RC coffee chat this morning. So thank you ever so much for joining me today. If you've got any questions about the Chaser, please just ask. Remember, I did buy that one out of my own cash, and I genuinely do think that I might be getting myself a second one just in case I stuff that one in. The bit which I like about it the most, transport, you can transport it easily. I don't have to put the seats down in the car. And the other one is the payload area in it. It's massive. Like, I struggled my boobies off with the Z84 trying to get everything in there and everything's tight and compact. I don't have that with that one at all. It fits perfectly. Oh, and also, just reminded me, took the Phantom FX61 up for a decent flight. The 5200 4S cells, the multi-stel packs, worked absolutely brilliantly. Absolutely brilliant. I did notice the battery pack did come down quite warm, but again, I was flying with a headwind on the way out, so I had to get a decent amount of amps to push the model out through the sky to get the distance on her, but then coming back 50 mile an hour plus on zero throttle. That was the speed of the glide on the way back. It was crazy. So yeah, with that said, time for me to wrap up. I got a busy day with work today. Thank you ever so much for joining me today for today's RC Coffee Chat, and I think I've got some mail episodes for later for you today as well. So on that note, for myself, Matt, really am going now. Cheerios.